Welcome back, Book Fiends, to Wicked Good Books, a channel dedicated to books and things book adjacent. My name is Lisa, and I am... how did I say it? Welcome back, Book Fiends, to Wicked Good Books, a channel dedicated to books and things book adjacent. My name is Lisa, and I am the host of yet another episode.
Similar to the video we did about 6 months ago on this channel, where I think we did a couple of videos actually, but we did like a variety. One of the videos was asking me some questions, kind of like get to know your content creator, your host. And we wanted to kind of do as part 2 for that video with a couple more detailed questions. We didn't really prepare for this too much, so hopefully I have the answers to most of these questions. They are questions I can answer, right?
Mm-hmm. They should be.
Okay, good. Since today is my birthday, we figured we'd put together this video. We've been celebrating all week long. My wife's birthday is earlier in the week, so it's been just like one long week of festivities, and we figured I wanted to record a video on my birthday. So without further ado, I'm going to have Lisa ask me some questions, and hopefully I don't make a fool of myself.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to get the book question out of the way first. What is your favorite book that you have read this year?
There's a lot of good books that I've read this year. Anybody that follows my Goodreads, you've been seeing me just 5-starring a lot of books this year. This is the year I read Dan Simmons for the first time, read Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion. They're really great. They really made a huge impact on me. Like I ugly cried at the end of Fall of Hyperion. It's one of my favorite books of all time now. For the year I reread Dune and started reading the sequels to Dune, which is pretty great. I'm currently reading Dark Age by Pierce Brown, which is one of my favorite books of all time, but also the most dreaded book of all time because it just fills me with anxiety and dread because all the bad things are happening to characters I love dearly, which is what Pierce Brown does to us, but I still love it. I did read, you know what? I'm going to stick with my gut here. It's definitely Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I read Gideon and Harrow back to back. I've talked about this in length before on this channel, how much I love those books and how it really has become my number one book of all time. It used to be Words of Radiance, now it's Harrow the Ninth, but yeah, that book just totally shook me and took me by surprise, and I can't wait to reread it.
Now, I don't think we've seen it in its full extent on this channel yet, but you get little glimpses of the little characters that you have here with your Funko Pops. Which one would you say is your all-time favorite?
Oh my god, that's a tough question. That's like asking your favorite child. No, it's not. I love my kids equally. Favorite Funko? Man, I have so many that I love dearly that I display. A lot of my favorites are out here. Like favorite quality-wise is like Sam from Death Stranding. He has like the best quality to him. But if I'm feeling like what's my favorite pop that I own, it used to be Greywind, Robb Stark's wolf from Game of Thrones. I love that pop dearly. I kind of wish it was flocked. I think it was a 7-Eleven exclusive.
Isn't that one like pretty rare?
It's pretty rare, yeah. Like I don't know why 7-Eleven does exclusive pops. I didn't even know that was there. But I would love to one day get Robb Stark to go with him, but Robb Stark is also super rare, so that'll never happen. But I got Greywind as a gift from a family friend, and she was super kind and kind of just knew I loved the wolves and knew I loved that character's wolf and the book especially, and she gifted it to me, and it's one of my favorites. So between Greywind and Lilu from Fifth Element with their multi-pass, that's definitely my favorite pop.
That one is a good one. Who is your favorite artist of all time?
Like a painter, digital painter, or
No, music.
For the past decade, it's really been John Butler Trio, whom I've seen live several times. I've seen live with you once. We have been listening to a lot of Dermot Kennedy lately too, but John Butler is that's my favorite artist.
And who had the best performance at a concert that you've seen?
Oh my goodness, I miss concerts so much. I've seen Metallica live. I've seen Dave Matthews Band live, which I know is like two different ends of the spectrum, but really great shows live. I've seen Need to Breathe live, which is a really good show. I've seen a lot of good artists over the years. We saw Dermot Kennedy last year in Tampa, and that was like such an intimate show. Like I love his music, and I figured it'd be a cool show, but I wasn't sure how it would translate to live, and it was just like it totally blew me away. I think favorite show though, I really have to stick with my gut here and go with the time you and I saw John Butler Trio together with my family and my friends when you were visiting New Hampshire at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom on the beach. That was such a cool show.
Yeah, that was a nice show because I had relatively been a newer fan, but it was cool because he had been playing a lot of new music from his album Home that we had not even heard yet.
Yep.
So it was nice to like go to a concert where I didn't know a lot of music, but neither did anybody else because it was all brand new.
I believe the album Home came out like that week. Like it came out like the day of the concert, the day before, so we didn't have a chance to like really listen to it. So it was really cool to see a lot of those new songs played live, and that's some of my favorite music. You know, I own the records. That's something that's on the background when I'm reading and writing. That concert was awesome too. I think it was like the last night of their tour too, so the energy in that room was just palpable.
On the topic of music, you use a lot of lo-fi.
I do.
On your channel. So how did you get into that?
So I use the artist Blue Wednesday on my channel. I always put his links down below. Their music is phenomenal. I really enjoy listening to all his new tracks that are coming out. I think I came across him on the Lo-Fi Girl playlist, as well as like the Chill Hop Essentials. It's like little raccoon guys that I move around and talk on the video. That's how I found out about Blue Wednesday. And it's one of my favorites. However, how I got into lo-fi and chill hop is like kind of like by accident. Like I didn't know what it was called before. This is like decades ago almost, when I was watching Toonami and Adult Swim on Cartoon Network late at night, and the in-between cards for Adult Swim between shows. Like I'd be watching Ryu Kenshin, Yu Yu Hakusho, and then like Aqua Team Hunger Force, like the really ridiculous stuff. And there was like the title cards in between episodes. I can't remember what they're called. They're called like jump cards, I think. I think they're called jump cards.
Yeah.
The weird title cards or transition cards in between episode shows or commercials basically, and they would play lo-fi chill hop music, and I'd always be like, "Ooh, I love this so much," and it became like a nostalgic, almost like a time machine whenever I hear it, because it makes me think of staying up late with Toonami on the background, Adult Swim on the background, reading, writing, hanging with friends. Like chill hop kind of became synonymous with relaxing after midnight, basically.
Yeah.
And I think I came across it. It became more popularized now, like it's more known. I remember I was telling the same story to a friend, and they were like, "Oh, you mean chill hop?" I was like, "It has a name." So ever since then, that's like all I listen to.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one who you told me about it, and it's become quite a common playlist for me to put on.
Don't you have the Lo-Fi Girl record too?
No, I saw it. I was gonna order it though, but it's on my list. I didn't.
I want that one so bad. It's so cool.
I think it was a record for. It was exclusive, and it was the Summer Essentials, I think, of last year.
It's funny actually. My daughter Emerson, my oldest, she calls it chill rock. She really enjoys it, and she's been like lately, this past year, really into Zelda, and she found like this chill hop Zelda Breath of the Wild remix, and like she plays it constantly now. So like even when I'm not listening to chill rock myself, my family is now.
Yeah, I saw it on earlier. Speaking of Zelda, what is the first video game that you ever played?
That one's easy, and this is that's so ironic. Zelda. I played Zelda Link's Awakening on the Nintendo. My dad kind of was a big gamer growing up, and he got my brother and I into the original Nintendo black and white and gray, then the SNES with a weird purple color scheme. Like, what a weird color scheme.
Yeah.
Progressive color scheme for Nintendo. Then there was Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Sega Dreamcast. We had Atari's Jaguar, which is like an unknown system to most people.
No.
Yeah. But the first game I can remember playing, that was like for me, that I played, that I enjoyed, was Zelda Link's Awakening on the SNES. I could hear the music of waking up on the beach and like going to get your sword for the first time, and that's like, it brings me right back. I hear that song and it brings me right back to being a kid playing. I had to have been like 6 or 7 at the time, which is great because now my daughter is a massive Zelda fan. She literally knows more. I am confident saying that my daughter knows more about Zelda than I do now. She watched me play Breath of the Wild on the Switch, which is like the only reason why I bought a Switch originally. And then when I gifted it to her, she asked if she could play it at the Game Plus version, and she plays it almost every single day. She's obsessed.
Yeah.
I actually got her the Breath of the Wild and Majora's Mask mangas last time I was out at these bookstores, and I know she likes it so much. And she's in first grade this year. She's learning to read, so she can't read like super complicated books yet. But manga has like, it's pretty simplistic. Some of them, some are complicated, but the Zelda ones are easy to read. And I've been catching her a few nights in a row during the week. Her just kind of flipping through and reading them, so she's super into them. Yeah,
she's been asking me to draw them and play the music for all of them. She's like, she'll hum the tune, and then I have to try to like.
I love that.
Match key. This isn't on the list, but because you're talking about manga, and I figured I would throw it back since it's a book adjacent channel. What's your favorite manga?
Oh goodness, that's a tough question. There's so many. I have like a top 5, which I think most people that follow this channel have probably heard me say at some point. It's really though between Attack on Titan and Ancient Magus Bride. I love them both dearly. And Attack on Titan ended this year, and I'm right the last issue. I read the last volume. It's a flawed masterpiece, absolutely stunning. I can't wait to see the final season adapted. And then Ancient Magus Bride, I'm all caught up as well. I really love that one. That one kind of came out of nowhere, and it just like it's won me over. I love that manga.
There are a lot of adaptations of different mangas. Which one would you say, not based on your favorite your favorite manga, which anime do you think has been adapted the best?
That's so tough because I feel like Attack on Titan's anime is really well done. I'm always kind of torn between dubbed and subbed. It depends on the performance. It depends on the content. I really enjoy the dubbed for Attack on Titan. The performances are just, personally think they're better. But the animation and the music is so memorable in that show. But as far as like adaptation goes, I have to stick with Ancient Magus Bride. The color work alone brings the mangas to life in a way that I couldn't have done with my mind. I mean, you have the colored covers and you have the first pages like a colored cell to kind of help you out with her hair is red, so make sure you're imagining red hair as it's black and white. Another really great one though, at least for the first season. I can't speak for the second season, but the first one is definitely Promised Neverland. That was a great adaptation.
Really good.
I mean, I got you to watch that one.
Yeah, that one was really good. Not that I wasn't expecting it, but like I'm not a huge anime person, so like to watch it, I was just like, oh, I'm sure I'll like it, but not be like too pulled in. And I remember I watched it like 11 o'clock at night, and you were just like, just watch one. And then I like texted you an hour later. I was like, I've watched so many.
Like this got dark real quick.
Yeah. Taking it back to the video games, what's your favorite video game of all time?
Oh man, we're torn here now between Last of Us 1 and 2 and Death Stranding. I feel like it's a solid tie for so many different reasons. I don't think one is per se better than the other, but they're really neck and neck. I mean, I love the Mass Effect series. I love, including Andromeda. I loved Andromeda. And I love the Dark Souls games a lot. I can't wait for Elden Ring. They just dropped the trailer a couple days ago, and I've watched it like 17 times while you're here.
Yep.
And but I definitely have to go with either Last of Us 2 or Death Stranding. It would depend on like the scenario, because I feel like one you can play more than the other.
That's fair. I would pick Last of Us.
I know you would. So I got you to play that game. I got you to play that game this year too.
Yes, you did. Now you and I have been playing D&D together for about 3 years, whether we're playing as players together or recently, actually not recently, it's been about 2 years, you've been the DM for our game.
Can't believe it.
What is your favorite part of DMing?
Oh my god, there's like no wrong answer there. There's so many. It's a very stressful position, and I think it's why a lot of people they try to avoid. They kind of look everywhere else when someone's looking for a DM, but it's so rewarding to be the dungeon master in a D&D game. At least in D&D 5e, that's what we run. But I could say it's bringing my homebrew fantasy world to life. I could say it's improvising with you guys, and we get really into character. I'm very blessed to be playing with a group of friends and family for the past 3 years total. There's a lot of trust there. There's a lot of great chemistry and bonds that we've kind of forged over the years. My wife is in the game, you're in the game, some of the closest friends are in the game. And everyone's super into character. They do silly voices and cool voices and all kinds of stuff, and they get really into it. And as much as I want to say like being able to interact with them is my favorite part, because I'm blessed to be able to do that, and I love being able to riff off them and bring my world to life through them. I think my favorite part about being the dungeon master is like there's like 10 minutes before every game where I think a lot of dungeon masters get like the butterflies in your stomach, and you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, this is a lot of work. This is really stressful. What if they hate it? What if I suck? At least that's for me. I get super in my head about it, and then as soon as like we hit not record, but as soon as we start playing, it just like all goes away, and you just get a wash of happiness and joy and enjoyment from it. It's such a unique feeling, and honestly, my favorite part about being a dungeon master is just watching you guys riff off each other. Like, be able to like just watch you guys play. It's like watching a Broadway show. Like, it's watching like an improv Broadway show, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I get that feeling before, even as a player, before we play, where it's like, I gotta get home, I gotta make sure that I'm logged on time, make sure everything's up and running, and make sure, but then I get nervous. I'm just like, I have a TV show on tonight or something like that. But it's like, the TV show can wait. I just want to. By the time we sign on and we start talking, and we always end up taking like the first half hour just to catch up, and it's always just it's worth it.
It's like
because our team is the best.
It really is. They're a lot of fun.
So what do you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, I was really big into surfing when we lived in New England. I didn't do it much, but the times that I did, I really, really enjoyed it. Being near the ocean is always like a balancing thing for me. It really brings me down to my center, and I really enjoy it. I feel most connected to nature and myself. Like the rest of the world's kind of quiet when I'm at the ocean, not just because it's super loud, but I just feel like I can be away. It's really nice. And I think since I've been down here, I've not surfed once, which is a shame. I've been down in Florida for 5 years now, and there's tons of good waves along the East Coast, and I gotta make time to do it. But other than that, just hanging out with my girls, going to the zoo, going to Disney, and going on the rides, and just being with them, going on walks, like simple stuff, going to parks. We're a very active family. We do like a lot of stuff together. We have a good time doing it. Ultimately, though, I think it's just being in the ocean, being near the ocean. That's what I'm most unwound, and that's what I do in my downtime. I like to read. I can read there. I can play volleyball and be silly with my girls and look for sea glass and stuff like that. And that's just that's my favorite thing to do.
And if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Norway.
Just Norway?
Just Norway.
Just Norway, anywhere?
Yeah, I follow the Norway Instagram account. I don't know if you do, and it's just like every photo they post is stunning. And I'm sure there's like color work done and stuff, but it seems like somewhere else, like a different planet.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful and like seemingly untouched. It's one of those rare places you see in the world where like nature is the predominant occupant,
Yes.
and the people that live there are among nature. There's actually, I can't pronounce the name of the town, so it's actually a place I'd want to live. It's actually, I believe, where Sigrid, the artist, is from, because I only know this because she did a live video at a venue that overlooks the fjord there. Mm-hmm. And I looked up a name for it, and it turns out that's where she's from, and the little small town looks gorgeous. It's amongst the mountains. It's absolutely stunning. I could live there forever. That's my retirement plan.
It is. I see you post on your story. You'll like repost Norway's picture, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, there he goes.
Yeah.
One day.
Making plans.
What do you like to do to unwind? So aside from like a hobby and things that you just like to do in your free time, what do you like to do to relax?
Yeah. I try to do a lot of meditation. It's hard to find time now with just the crazy. You'd think we'd have all this time in the world because the year's been so crazy. We're all stuck at home. But between work and the kiddos and me and my wife becoming basically teachers at home while my daughter's doing homeschool for the year, it's tough to find that time to get meditation in. But when I can do it, it just automatically brings me back to my center. I'm really into Sanskrit mantras, which is like a Buddhist Hinduism blend of the two. That's one of my favorite things to do to unwind. I also really love ASMR videos. Now I know there's a lot of them out there, and I think there's like a stigma on ASMR, which I think is silly. There's a lot of like crazy stuff out there, but I like the really basic stuff. It could be as simple as Fred's voice tapping on his Lego Harry Potter bus, double stacker bus, or it could be Sarah Lavender, tapping on a book and reading from a book. Stuff like that just completely mellows me out. I think I actually got you an ASMR.
You did, because I was a little iffy on it at the very beginning. I remember when you first started listening to it, I was just like, what is it? And it was just like, gives the tingles, and I was like, what does that even mean?
What does that mean?
And then I did. I started listening to it, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
Mm-hmm. And there's so much content out there. I'll probably put my top 5 down below just to promote it because I love it so much. But there's so much content out there that if you don't like one type of sound mix, there's so many different other triggers and so many different other like types of creators out there. So I feel like there's something for everyone. Similar to most content on YouTube, but yeah.
For the final question, you and I have been friends for about 6 years now, but I would say it took us a few months to really become like best friends. So I would honestly say that like our 5-year friend anniversary is coming up this summer.
It is.
So what over the course of said 5 years, what has been your fondest memory of our friendship?
There's so many good ones.
I know.
Oh man, that's tough. I'll think for a second. There's so many good ones. We really have so much fun when you're around. Not just when you lived here in Florida when we were in school together, but also afterwards. And I feel like I have 2. One shouldn't be like a happy memory because it was like a terrible thing that was happening, but like it's a great memory. And
I think I know which one you're talking about, but I'm not.
We had a really bad hurricane the first year we were here. And it was like one of the worst hurricanes that Florida's seen in a while, at least, and we had just moved here, we were in school. And so we didn't really know what to do. We had just moved to the coast, and we just moved closer to the coast. I guess that's where the hurricane's got to touch down. So we packed our car with like everything we owned because we just didn't know how bad it was going to be in our little condo. And we just stuffed in our car with our dog and my wife and my oldest. We didn't have our second baby yet. And we just drove to Lisa's apartment because she was more inland. And we left most of it in the car. We were like crammed in your house like a blow-up mattress. Mm-hmm. And Emerson crashed in your bed. And we ended up watching Harry Potter all night, playing Harry Potter trivia, and like that weird Shrek game that you love so much.
Shrek Super Party. Don't hate on Shrek Super Party. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's something. It's definitely a classic to someone.
I think we lost power though at one point because I remember pulling out. I had like a little propane grill, and I think I had to like put it out on the patio, and I think we ended up having to like cook on the grill.
It was like simultaneously scary for everyone because like the news always makes it seem like it's the end of the world, and it does some damage. Like it's a pretty scary thing, but in this moment we were just like we had just moved here. It was super loud. And that was like one of my happy memories because I think back on that and we just were so comforted all being together. And
were we graduated by that point? I think we had to.
I think we had to have been because I don't remember there being a hurricane interrupting our studies.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Because Amy and I had just moved to the East Coast and we came.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
I think did Mitch come and hang out with us too? Because he lived close by.
He did. He came one night and we played Harry Potter trivia.
Yes.
Yes. Mitch did come by.
I remember that. I can't believe that.
I
forgot
about that.
But I think my favorite memory is when you came to visit us in New England
a
couple of years back, and we saw John Butler True together. We were basically staying in a cabin in the woods with my family in New Hampshire, where I'm from. And it was just really beautiful out. I can smell the porch, like coffee and like the pine trees, and listening to records, and then in the room just hanging out in our rocking chairs like a bunch of old people.
Yes, the dream. I remember pulling up to that house because obviously I'd never been there, and I remember pulling up to the house and I was just like, this is where we're staying.
Right.
That trip is definitely one of my absolute favorite trips I think I've ever taken, and it was great to I hadn't seen you guys in I think it had been like a year
plus
since I had moved home, and I've never been to Salem, so like to go with you and your wife to go see that. I mean, I like witchy things, so I was just like, I want to go to Salem. That was like one of the things I wanted to do while we were up there.
Yep.
And you guys just took me around and showed me like everything, the best spots to go. We walked around the witch house.
We did.
Which was also
in length.
In length, because that was also another one of my favorite memories, because I always do film stuff with you.
Yep.
So to get to go there with your wife who's a photographer, and you get to like interact with Amy on that level, and just me and her were like moving around, just like getting everything that we could.
Oh my goodness! I remember going upstairs with Emerson in my arms, and I turned around and you guys were just gone. I'm like, they're just taking witchy photos, and that's just gonna be how it's gonna go today. I mean, Emerson hanging out.
Yep, that was a really good day.
That was great. And we ended it with the John Butler concert.
Yes, that was the last night.
Yeah, that was wonderful because you hadn't seen them before, and I kind of like primed you what to expect. But their shows are just so full of energy, and they're so loud and just vibrant and energetic. And it was, like I said before, the last show of their tour, so like the energy was super high, and just I don't know. There's something about like that happy memory. It's like locked in time for me.
Yes, yeah, that was such a great. I mean, that was just a great show and a great trip.
I'm terrified to know what memory you thought I was talking about when I said bad.
I feel like it's the only other one.
This is the car.
Yes, it is.
You want to tell it real quick?
Well, to start, we drove in one day to and from Atlanta because your indie film that we did for school had been selected to be premiered at the Atlanta Indie Film Festival.
Yep.
And it was at the Pinch and Out Theater, which is where they host, and hold the like official indie Atlanta Indie Film Festival. So we drove up to go see it and watch a premiere, and they held like a Q&A afterwards, and it was just like a really awesome day. And on the drive back, we were about 4 hours in, so we only had about 2 hours left to go, and my car just died.
Yeah,
just
toast.
We
had Hamilton on.
1 second Hamilton was playing, and the next it was just like so dead to the point like nothing. If I turn the key, nothing
was toast.
Happens,
and we were in the parts of like when you cross from Georgia to Florida, there's no lights on the highway. It's just like darkness. There was just us in darkness, trying to like not hyperventilate and be nervous. But we made it.
I was so anxious. I just was like,
You really were.
I was like, I don't know what to do. I was so embarrassed. I was just like, oh my god, my car died. It is 2:00 in the morning. We are in pitch black on the middle of 95. A cop has now picked us up.
We rode in the back of a cop car together.
Yes, we did.
That's friendship right there.
That was what a day.
Well, that's hilarious. Like I love that memory because I remember being like so dark, and you were stressing out so badly, and I was just like,
I remember you yelled at me because you were like, well, don't you have like one of those like safety kits in the back of your car? And I was like, what? And you were like, something that has like cones or like a flare or something. I was like, who has that in the back of the car? And you were just like, everybody has a safety kit in their car. And I was like, I don't.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope to have you down again soon. We're hoping for the holidays and trying to make it less and less further away. We did pretty good this time.
We did.
I'd love to shoot more videos with you. I'd love to get you back on the show for like a holiday themed video. Would be hilarious and fun. We do have a lot of fun during the holidays. But thank you so much for being on the show again.
Thanks for
I always
having me
enjoy
back.
having you. I know that the community loves talking to you in the comments and just seeing our relationship and hearing our silly stories because we get into some stuff. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for tuning and hanging out with us for a little bit. If you made it this far to the video, I know some YouTubers and Booktubers and content creators will say like, oh, put an emoji down in the comments to see if you made it this far, just to kind of see. If you did, put a little wolf emoji down. I'd love to see who made it this far in the video, and if you cared this much about me and our friendship to hang out with us for a little bit and learn a little bit about me, I guess. And yeah, thanks so much for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Stay wicked.